a terrible wound has been inflicted on this community and on all families who are represented here, but especially the family of the victim and the friends of the victim, who had no choice in whether or not to be and become a victim. I think all of the pain that we see here, all that we have heard, and all that we have heard about can be traced back to a common source and the decisions of two individuals who have been determined by a jury of their peers to be guilty of the most serious crimes that the laws of this state recognize. I do believe also that once a verdict has been entered, the case is in a totally different landscape, and we all have a duty to respect the verdict. I would point out also, and this is known to the attorneys, but it may not be known to everyone else, that the court is in a very different place from the advocates, the lawyers who we have heard from today. Lawyers have a duty of zealous advocacy for the side that they represent, and we have certainly seen zealous advocacy before the court today. However, the court is not an advocate for anyone or anything except justice. And I am required at sentencing to consider risks of public safety and the promotion of public safety. I am required to consider punishment and making certain that a punishment matches the crime. And finally, I am required to consider rehabilitation and the prospects for rehabilitation in this case. The court has weighed these factors, and with respect to Mr. Flakes and Mr. Flakes alone, I do believe, and have had it pointed out to me before by prosecutors as well as judges, that taking away all hope of parole creates a very dangerous situation, and it also creates a very dangerous inmate. I'm unpersuaded by the arguments pertaining to costs of incarceration. I think that civilization has a price, and it has a price tag, and maintaining a prison system is part of living in a civilized society. And for better or worse, that's just a reality we face. But I am concerned about the fact that taking away all hope of parole from Mr. Flakes would hinder prospects for rehabilitation for what has been pointed out repeatedly over and over again as a relatively young man. I consider 33 to be young. Some of you may not, but I do. I do think that holding forth the hope of parole for Mr. Flakes promotes and advances the possibility of rehabilitation. So as to Mr. Flakes alone, I'm going to let it be a sentence of life on each count, and those will be concurrent charges. As to Mr. Williams, the court's options are limited. I've also examined the record that I have before me, and the sentence that the court will impose on for Mr. Williams will be life without the possibility of parole. It is the intent of the court that Mr. Williams serve the balance of his natural life in confinement. I believe that is what the law in fact requires. However, in summary, with respect to Mr. Flakes, in light of the argument that I have heard from Mr. Garner, and taking into account public safety, punishment, and the prospect of rehabilitation, I will stand by that sentence as well. So that will be the sentence of the court.